Ladies and gentlemen, we all carry a story. Some parts we're proud of, and others we wish we could erase. For many of us, the past feels like a shadow, lingering, following us, whispering that we are not enough, that we are bound by mistakes, regrets, or circumstances we didn't choose. But I am here today to tell you one simple truth. Your past does not define you. Your power lies in what you choose to do today and every day forward. Think of it this way: the past is a chapter in your book, but it is not the whole story. If you keep rereading the same chapter, you'll never discover the magic of the next one. The pages ahead are blank, waiting for you to write them with courage, resilience, and authenticity. Yes, you may have been hurt. Yes, you may have failed. Yes, you may have been overlooked, underestimated, or even betrayed. But none of these experiences diminish your worth. They only prove one thing: that you are still here, standing, breathing, and capable of rising higher. The real danger is not in having a broken past. The danger is in believing that brokenness is your identity. When you internalize the pain and say, "This is who I am," you hand over your power to the shadows. But when you declare, "This is what I went through, but it is not who I am," you step into your star power. And what is star power? It is the light that exists inside every single one of us, a brilliance that no failure, no heartbreak, and no past mistake can extinguish. Stars shine brightest in the darkest skies. Likewise, your struggles are not scars of shame. They are proof of survival, fuel for your brilliance, and stepping stones to your purpose. So today, I urge you, forgive yourself for the past. Forgive others if you must. Release the weight of what has already been written and focus on the chapters yet to come. Embrace your growth, your lessons, your resilience. See yourself not as a victim of yesterday, but as the author of tomorrow. When you walk in your star power, you no longer hide behind regrets. You shine with confidence. You inspire others who are still trapped in their shadows. You become a living reminder that no past, no matter how messy, painful, or dark, can keep a star from shining. So, my friends, don't let your past define you. Step out of the shadows, step into your light, and embrace your star power, because the world is waiting for your shine. Your past is a chapter, not the whole story. Life is often compared to a book, and every experience we go through, good or bad, is a chapter written in its pages. Some chapters are filled with joy, success, and laughter, while others are heavy with pain, loss, or regret. But here is the truth that so many of us forget: a chapter is not the whole book. The past is only a part of your journey, not the definition of your identity or your destiny. Too often, people become trapped by their past chapters. They replay old mistakes like broken records, convincing themselves they are failures because of one bad decision. They cling to painful memories, allowing the scars of yesterday to control how they live today. But imagine reading the first few chapters of a novel and then deciding you already know the ending. That would be unfair to the story and rob you of the surprise, the growth, and the transformation that the later chapters hold. In the same way, it is unfair to your own life to let your past chapters define your entire story. Think of some of the most remarkable individuals in history. Many of them had painful or difficult pasts. Some failed in business multiple times, others struggled in poverty, and some endured heartbreaking rejection. Yet, those early chapters did not lock them into failure. They became innovators, leaders, and changemakers because they chose to keep writing their story instead of letting the past close the book for them. Your past is not a prison, it is a teacher. Every mistake carries a lesson, and every wound carries wisdom. Instead of fearing or resenting your past, you can reframe it. You can see it as training ground for the strength, compassion, and resilience you now carry. That chapter may have been painful, but without it, you wouldn't have gained the perspective and courage that prepare you for what's ahead. It is important to realize that the past cannot be changed, but the meaning you assign to it can. You may not be able to erase a hurtful memory, but you can decide whether it will chain you down or push you forward. You may not control what happened, but you control what happens next. That is where your true power lies. So instead of saying, "This happened to me, therefore I am broken," you can say, "This happened to me, therefore I am stronger." Instead of saying, "I failed before, so I am a failure," you can say, "I failed before, so I have experience, wisdom, and a new chance to succeed." The way you frame your past determines how you step into your future. And remember, a book is meant to move forward. No author stays stuck on chapter 3 forever. They write chapter 4, then chapter 5, until the story reaches its full potential. Likewise, you must give yourself permission to turn the page. Your greatest victories might still be unwritten. Your happiest days might still be ahead, but you'll never reach them if you keep rereading the same old lines of regret and self-doubt. So today, make a decision, honor your past, but don't live in it. Let it remind you of where you've been, but never let it dictate where you're going. Your past is just one chapter. It's not your final story. The pen is still in your hands, and the next pages are waiting to be filled with your courage, your growth, and your star power. Brokenness is not your identity. Every human being carries cracks, moments of failure, betrayal, loss, or heartbreak. These experiences can leave us feeling damaged, unworthy, or even beyond repair. Society often amplifies this feeling by labeling people based on their worst mistakes or most painful chapters. But let me say this clearly: your brokenness is not your identity. The danger comes when we begin to confuse what happened to us with who we are. If you've failed, you may start to believe you are a failure. If you've been hurt, you may start to see yourself as unlovable. If you've made mistakes, you may convince yourself you are undeserving of happiness. But these are lies, lies born from pain, shame, and fear. The truth is that brokenness is not who you are, it is something you went through. Think about a cracked vase. On the surface, it looks damaged, yet when light shines through those cracks, it creates patterns that are more beautiful than a flawless surface could ever reflect. Similarly, your scars don't erase your value. They can actually make your story more powerful. They are evidence that you survived, that you endured, and that you are still standing. Some of the strongest, most inspiring people you know are not those who lived a perfect life, but those who carried their brokenness with courage. They refused to let their pain dictate their worth. They chose to rise, rebuild, and redefine themselves beyond the labels of their past. Their brokenness became the soil in which resilience, empathy, and wisdom grew. The Japanese art of kintsugi beautifully illustrates this truth. When pottery is broken, it is not thrown away. Instead, it is repaired with gold, making the cracks part of the design. The once broken piece becomes even more valuable because of its history. In the same way, your broken pieces can be filled with gold, strength, lessons, and healing. If you allow them to be, your cracks are not flaws to hide. They are part of what makes you unique and extraordinary. But to embrace this truth, you must separate your identity from your experiences. You are not the failure. You are someone who failed and learned. You are not the abandoned. You are someone who was hurt, but chose to love again. You are not the broken one. You are someone who carries scars that prove your survival. Identity is not found in what happened to you. It is found in how you rise above it. The shift begins when you stop saying, "I am broken," and start saying, "I am healing." Stop saying, "I am not enough," and start saying, "I am growing into enough and more." Words matter because they shape the way you see yourself, and the way you see yourself shapes the life you create. If you let brokenness define you, you shrink into a version of yourself that was never meant to be. But if you see brokenness as a stage in your journey, you step into transformation. You reclaim your power, your worth, and your light. So, the next time your past whispers that you are too broken, too flawed, or too damaged, answer back with this truth: I am not my brokenness. I am my resilience. I am my healing. I am my star power. Your cracks are not your curse. They are your crown. And when you embrace them, you remind the world that brokenness does not define identity. It reveals strength. Star power lies within you every night when you look up at the sky. You see countless stars shining brightly against the dark canvas. They don't ask permission to glow. They don't compare their light to the star next to them. They simply shine because that is what they were created to do. In the same way, every one of us carries an inner light, a unique brilliance I call star power. Star power is not about fame, wealth, or external success. It is the unshakable worth and potential you carry within you, regardless of your past, your mistakes, or your circumstances. It is that inner fire that whispers, "You are more than what you've been through. You are meant to shine." Too often, we forget this. Life's challenges, disappointments, and scars dim our confidence. We start believing we are ordinary, replaceable, or insignificant. But the truth is, no one else can shine exactly the way you can. Think about it. Stars shine brightest in the darkest skies. Similarly, your star power often reveals itself most clearly in times of struggle. The difficulties you've faced aren't proof that your light is gone. They are opportunities for your light to break through. Pain may try to silence you, but your resilience speaks louder. Failure may try to define you, but your determination proves otherwise. Even in your darkest nights, your star power is waiting to illuminate the path forward. But here's the key: star power is not something you have to earn. It's something you already carry. You were born with it. The challenge is not discovering it, but remembering it. It requires peeling back the layers of doubt, shame, and fear that have covered your brilliance. Every time you choose courage over fear, every time you choose hope over despair, you are allowing your star power to shine through. Some people may try to dim your light. They may remind you of your past, underestimate your abilities, or question your worth. But remember, a star doesn't stop shining because someone looks away. It continues to radiate no matter who notices. Your star power doesn't need validation. It is self-sustaining. It grows the more you embrace it. One of the most beautiful aspects of star power is that it doesn't just light up your life, it lights up others. Think about how a single star can guide travelers through the night. In the same way, when you live boldly and authentically in your own light, you inspire others to find theirs. You give hope to those who feel lost in their darkness. Your shine becomes a beacon. So how do you embrace your star power? Start by affirming your worth. Remind yourself daily, I am not defined by my past. I am not my mistakes. I am not my pain. I am light. I am strength. I am possibility. Live as though you believe these words, and soon they become your reality. Star power also grows when you align your life with authenticity. Stop dimming yourself to fit in or to make others comfortable. Stars don't hide behind clouds, they shine regardless. The moment you step fully into who you are, your gifts, your passions, your truth, you unleash a radiance that no one can duplicate. Remember this: the universe is vast, yet every single star matters. Likewise, in the great story of life, your presence matters, your shine matters. You are not here by accident. You are here to glow with the kind of brilliance that only you can bring. So let your star power rise, let it burn away the lies of your past, let it guide your steps into the future, and above all, let it remind you that you were never meant to live in the shadows, you were meant to shine. Forgiveness unlocks freedom. Forgiveness is one of the hardest things to practice, yet one of the most liberating gifts you can ever give yourself. When we think of forgiveness, we often imagine it as letting someone off the hook, or pretending that the hurt didn't happen. But true forgiveness is not about excusing the wrong or forgetting the pain. It is about freeing yourself from the chains of resentment, guilt, and anger. Forgiveness is not a gift for others. It is a gift for you. Think of resentment like carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents a memory of betrayal, a mistake, a regret, or a grudge. At first, you might not notice the weight, but over time, it exhausts you. You find yourself slowed down, unable to move forward with ease. Forgiveness is the act of taking those stones out, one by one, until you are free to walk lighter. Without it, you remain trapped in the prison of your past. This is why forgiveness is deeply tied to freedom. When you forgive yourself, you release the grip of shame and regret. You stop punishing yourself for what you cannot undo and start embracing the lessons those mistakes taught you. When you forgive others, you break free from the invisible leash that ties you to them. Their actions may have hurt you, but your choice to forgive ensures they no longer control your peace of mind. Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. You can forgive someone and still choose not to allow them back into your life. It does not mean saying what they did was okay. It means you refuse to let their actions hold power over your heart any longer. Forgiveness is about reclaiming your energy, your joy, and your future. Many people resist forgiveness because they think it makes them weak. But the truth is, forgiveness requires tremendous strength. Anyone can hold a grudge. It takes courage to let go. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It is a declaration of power. It says, I refuse to let my life be defined by pain. I choose peace instead. Imagine a bird trapped in a cage. The cage is made of anger and bitterness. Every day, the bird looks out at the sky, longing to fly, but it remains trapped by its own refusal to let go. The moment it forgives, the cage door swings open, and the bird is free. That bird is you. The sky is your future. Forgiveness is the key. It is also important to extend forgiveness inward. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. We replay our mistakes, punish ourselves with guilt, and believe we don't deserve happiness. But holding yourself hostage to the past does nothing but dim your light. Self-forgiveness is not saying you did nothing wrong. It is saying, I made mistakes, but I am still worthy of love. When you practice forgiveness, you reward yourself and others. You create space for healing. You create room for new opportunities, deeper connections, and genuine joy. The weight of bitterness is replaced with the lightness of peace. The prison of the past is replaced with the open field of possibility. So, if you want freedom, start with forgiveness. Let go of what chains you to yesterday, not for them, for you. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Remember this, forgiveness does not erase the past, but it reclaims the future. And when you step into that future unchained, your star power shines brighter than ever before. Shining inspires others. There is something magnetic about light. When a candle is lit in a dark room, people naturally draw near to it. It gives warmth, comfort, and direction. The same is true of human beings. When you choose to step into your light, your confidence, your authenticity, your resilience, you don't just transform your own life. You become a beacon for others who are still trapped in the shadows. Your shine gives others permission to shine too. Many people underestimate the impact of their presence. They think, who am I to inspire anyone? But inspiration doesn't come only from grand achievements or public recognition. It comes from the way you carry yourself, the way you rise after falling, and the way you continue to glow even when life has tried to dim you. Sometimes, the simple act of living courageously is enough to spark hope in someone else's heart. Think about it. How often have you been encouraged just by seeing someone overcome adversity? Maybe you watched a friend rebuild their life after heartbreak, and it reminded you that healing is possible. Maybe you saw a colleague pursue their dream fearlessly, and it gave you the courage to chase yours. This is the ripple effect of light. One person's decision to shine can ignite a chain reaction of courage in countless others. When you refuse to let your past define you and instead embrace your star power, you become living proof that transformation is real. People who feel stuck in their mistakes or buried in shame look at you and realize, if they can rise, maybe I can too. Your story becomes more than your own. It becomes a lantern guiding others out of darkness. But here's the beauty of shining. It doesn't diminish you to help others glow. In fact, light multiplies when shared. A single candle can light thousands of others without losing its flame. Likewise, when you encourage, uplift, and inspire others, your own light grows brighter. Inspiration is not a zero, some game. It is an infinite resource. This is why hiding your shine serves no one. Too often, we dim ourselves out of fear of judgment, rejection, or not being good enough. But when you hide your light, you not only cheat yourself, you also rob the world of the inspiration only you can give. Your journey, your scars, and your victories are not just for you. They are for someone else who needs proof that hope exists. Shining doesn't always mean standing on a stage or shouting your story to the world. Sometimes it means quietly living with integrity, kindness, and resilience. Sometimes it means showing compassion when it's easier to be cold. Sometimes it means pursuing your dreams even when others doubt you. Each act of authentic courage sends out ripples that reach farther than you can imagine. Remember, the world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more people willing to be real, vulnerable, and radiant in their truth. Your light doesn't have to be flawless to inspire. In fact, it's often your cracks, your resilience, and your authenticity that make your shine so powerful. So shine boldly, not just for yourself, but for the countless lives you may touch without even realizing it. Be the reminder that healing is possible, that growth is achievable, and that light is always stronger than darkness. Because when you shine, you don't just change your life, you ignite hope in others. And that hope, multiplied across hearts and generations, has the power to light up the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we've journeyed through some powerful truths today. We've reminded ourselves that the past is only a chapter, not the whole story. We've uncovered the lie that brokenness defines us and replaced it with the truth that resilience shapes us. We've awakened to the reality that star power already lives within us, unshakable, undeniable, waiting to shine. We've discovered that forgiveness is the key that unlocks freedom from chains we've carried for far too long. And finally, we've embraced the truth that when we shine, we don't shine alone. We light the path for others, creating a ripple of hope that spreads far beyond what we can see. So I ask you today, will you keep rereading the painful chapters of your past, or will you pick up the pen and write a brighter future? Will you let brokenness dictate your identity, or will you wear your scars as proof of survival? Will you dim your light to stay small, or will you step into your star power and glow boldly? The choice is yours, and it is a choice. No matter what your past holds, no matter what shadows try to follow you, you hold the power to rise. You hold the power to shine. You hold the power to inspire. Remember this. Your past may explain you, but it does not define you. Your star power is greater than your pain, stronger than your scars, and brighter than any darkness you've endured. So step out of the shadows. Forgive, rise, and shine, not only for yourself, but for the countless souls who are waiting for the light only you can bring. The world doesn't need a perfect you. It needs the real you. It needs the shining, resilient, star-powered you. So go forth and shine. Thank you.